Budget GPU options. That is a big part of what this channel is about. What is going to give you the most bang for your buck? How can you save money on building a rig that can play what you want? We also don't want to drop stacks and stacks of cash on video card components of the build, particularly. Make no mistake, if there was ever a component to spend stacks and stacks of cash on, it would probably be the GPU. That is permitting your other parts don't have a bottleneck or anything like that. Enter the Intel Arc lineup from 2022, the Alchemist lineup, a line of GPUs that Intel specifically said themselves was not meant to take on the top dogs, but rather to be a medium line option for gamers and workstations. Now, we have looked at the Arc A380 on the channel a few times, and now today we are taking a look at the middle child within the Intel Arc family, the Intel Arc A750. It's got fingerprints on it. It's a beautiful card, but it gathers fingerprints. That's right. I released a build list video for the A750 a couple weeks ago, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is in this video, and for this test, I'm going to test it out myself. After the driver updates that Intel has been pushing out, I've been wildly impressed with Arc, and I wanted to see how this thing performs. I'm going to be running 4 benches: Heaven, Superposition, Time Spy, and Firestrike. I'm going to compare those to other scores online and see how we do. The games we're going to be running in this video are Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, Halo Infinite, Doom Eternal, and of course, Fortnite. Now, we are pairing this GPU with a Ryzen 7 5800X, 16 gigs of 3600 DDR4 RAM, and all the games and benches are going to be running off a Western Digital Black NVMe drive. Now, this unit is the limited edition model, and first impressions of the card are that the unboxing experience was awesome. I mean, the thing is just sleek. Bananas that this has a nicer aesthetic and a better unboxing experience than my 3080 in my gaming rig. Just something about this GPU. It just feels sleek, feels professional, feels me. I don't know what that means. Now, this GPU is by far one of the nicest looking cards in the box that I have seen, which is wildly impressed. Now, the specs for this guy says 8 gigs of DDR6 video memory, 256-bit bus, a bandwidth of 512 gigabytes per second, a memory speed of 16 gigabytes per second. Our clocks on the GPU itself, 2050 megahertz, and our TDP is 225 watts. It has support for ray tracing, support for DirectX 12, Vulkan, OpenGL, and CL, and also has that ever so sweet AV1 video encoding. Deep link is a check, and on the back, we have 4 outputs, 1 HDMI, and 3 display ports. Now that we have all the technical mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's take a look at the performance on this thing, kicking things off with Heaven on high. Now, in Heaven, we pulled a score of 6,595. We had a minimum FPS of 181, a max of 419, and our average came out to 261. I am not sure why Heaven shows different numbers there. My numbers are pulled from the benchmark report from MSI Afterburner, so I don't know why the discrepancy is happening there. Overall, Heaven on high was a super smooth test, and I'm very pleased with our performance here. Next, we take a look at Superposition, again on the high preset. Another smooth and great test on a high preset. We pulled a score of 14,148. We had a minimum of 88 frames per second. Our max was 129. And our average for this test was 105. Again, a solid performer from a budget card. Super happy with the way that this is going so far. Next, we're moving over to Time Spy. And in Time Spy, we got a score here of 11,429 temps on the card. We're staying in the upper 40s and 50s. And to my joyous surprise, we didn't only pass the 2020 Office computer, but we placed above everything except for the premium gaming PC of 2020. Now, I have no idea if we will ever beat this one, but I am very pleased that everything else went to slaughter in this test. Firestrike was more of the same, with a score of 25,807. Temps again not going over the upper 50s, and again, placing just below that premium gaming PC. Again, very smooth test here with Time Spy and Firestrike, and I am very pleased with the price per performance that we're seeing in these benches. But we're not interested in benches. We're more interested in the gaming, yeah? How well does this thing play video games? Well, pretty well, actually. Say that 10 times fast. Let's take a look at some numbers, starting the gaming test with Counter-Strike. Now, we saw some very nice performance in CSGO, performance of 200 to 340 FPS on all high settings, depending on where we're standing in the map. Not surprising here, as CSGO was a big talking point for their massive driver update they released early in February. Next, we take a look at Apex Legends. Very playable experience in the new season of Apex, with a minimum of 82 FPS, a maximum of 145, and our average FPS hovering in the 112, 113 range. Again, depending on kind of where we are in the map. The Apex test was ran on medium. The FPS was logged once we touched the ground, as it seems when you are in the plane or when you're flying out after you jump out of the plane, the game seems to be incredibly way more CPU intensive than it needs to, hitting 100% and kind of throttling until we got close to the ground. Then the GPU percentage started taking off and things started working better. Now, Halo Infinite was next, and while this game is ever so commonly the bane of my existence, we performed very well. We are running a combo of medium and high settings. Sadly, we have to turn off reflections or the game gets super wonky on these ARC cards still. I wish they would hammer that out. That like Intel, come on. I need reflections. We had a minimum of 110 frames per second, a max of 155, and our average frame rate for Halo Infinite was 132. Very playable. Doom Eternal was a weird wonky mess in this recording. Honestly, not sure what happened here, as I confirmed that I was actually playing the game, but the recording seems to have froze on some loading screen and it got all wonky and it looks super duper weird. But I can confirm I was actually playing the game. What's even more weird is that the footage on the numbers is accurate. We had a minimum of 60 from loading into the game, a max of 147, and an average of 141. I don't know what happened here, but these numbers are with the game set on ultra nightmare quality settings, as mentioned. Like I said, I was actually playing here. I don't know what OBS was doing. I guess that test, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Now, finally, we get to Fortnite. We're playing Fortnite on a mix of medium and high settings, and it played very nice, very smooth. We had a minimum of 67 FPS, a max of 145, and our average frame rate in Fortnite, was 137. Very respectable. It's incredibly even more impressive when you realize that this card at MSRP is $250. Bananas. Like, it's actually crazy to me. It's actually crazy to me that Intel comes out with budget option cards saying that they don't want to compete with the big guys, and they're out here getting good enough performance to play games on without much issue. Keep in mind, Doom Eternal, not very demanding, can literally run on a Bluetooth shower head. I think I was playing Doom Eternal on my infrared fireplace over there yesterday at like 70 FPS, so it can literally run on anything. But to come out and say, we're not going to create something that competes with the big boys, and then you come out and you compete with the big boys, at least in budget options, you are going to gather some much deserved attention. I want to clean this off. The limited edition cards, man, they take fingerprints, bro. Like police. If I did a crime, police could pick this up and get a perfect fingerprint off of it. However, even though that is the case, it is a very beautiful card. Look at this thing, man. It is just gorgeous. It's sleek. This is completely unbranded on the bottom. It's got this nice finish to it, man. It's like nice satin finish. Your icon, your logo right here lights up white. I don't know if you can change that. It requires an 8-pin power connector and a 6-pin power connector right there. And I mean, it's just, look at this thing. The limited edition cards are absolutely beautiful. I just love this thing. The numbers are actually kind of banana bonkers to me. Now, we knew that the A750 was going around slapping other cards in Hogwarts Legacy. Unfortunately, I didn't have Hogwarts Legacy to test in this video. It's very, very long. It's a very big download. But yeah. So it was doing very, very well with that. And I expected it to perform decent, right? It is an 8 gig card. However, you know, it's Intel Arc, so there's always some hesitancy there. However, just the fact that, you know, it was kind of tearing through everything. And the benches specifically, being able to score as high as it did in Time Spy and Firestrike, absolutely blew me away. I'm super happy. And the only thing that I can say is that I was not an Intel believer, and now I'm gradually becoming an Intel believer, and I'm super, super duper excited for Battle Mage. I'm super duper excited for Alchemist Plus. I want to see what Intel is doing, and I can only hope that they continue to do things super duper crazy, because that's how you shake up the market. You come in and release stuff like this, and if you have to fix it over time, you do, which is what they've been doing. And then all of a sudden you're having better performance and things than certain other brands that just so happen to sell their like flagship graphics cards for like $1,500. No big deal. That's how change happens. Competition in the market. We need this. We need this. I'm absolutely a huge fan, and I can only hope that Intel just keeps coming and keeps swinging. Man, I love the Arc lineup. I just do. Will it ever replace my 3080? No. No, it won't. But I could be a fan. And I am. I'm a big fan. If you like this video, consider watching this video next. If that's not your thing and you like something like this, here's a playlist right here. Click on one of those and I will see you over there. Take care.